Hello.
Oh ho ho! Hello everybody.
Ho ho
Welcome back.
ho.
Yes, welcome back to the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. We are once again here to talk about Big Brother Reindeer Games, the show that honestly is just really surprising us with
Oh yeah.
just how good it is and how much it's delivering and just giving us so much more to talk about than I think we really expected it to. But I think we have quite a bit to say about this one. We'll get into that. But before we do, I'm here, my lovely co-host, Allie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I had a pretty chill day. I just went to get food, like got wings and onion rings with my mom, and then we went to the mall for a bit and then just came home and just chilled. So I didn't really do a lot today. Just kind of hung out.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I didn't do too much either. I hung out and then I saw the Iron Claw, which is really great. It's very depressing,
I
but
want
I
to see
very much
more.
recommend it.
Yeah, I
Hmm?
definitely need to see that one.
No, you don't.
No,
But
I
uh,
just I
and
just want to see it for like the story and everything.
oh yeah, that's totally why. Allie says she wants to watch it for the plot, and it's just like all like the pictures of like them shirtless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. Mhm. Not here to talk about the shirtless men and the Iron Claw. What we are here to talk about, of course, is Big Brother Reindeer Games, episode 2. Listen, episode 1, I was a really big fan of. I was surprised by how much I really liked it. And I really was just hoping that this episode could just keep up the momentum of what they set up in that first episode. There were a lot of interesting dynamics and conflicts, and I was really excited to see how that was going to transfer over. And I think this episode was even better than the first one. I
Oh yeah,
really love this episode a lot. I think this
so
episode gave
good.
us what you want in a Big Brother episode, but again, also doing something on its own. I think I'm fully on board with the show at this point, and just really excited to see how the rest of this plays out. But what do you think of this one?
Oh, I really love this one so much. There was just like the gameplay, Taylor's karma, and like
Oh,
everything was just so good. And like, I just really love this one so much. It was, yeah, it definitely was like the first one was great. This one was even better.
yeah, there was a lot of great stuff in this one. And they're saying on Twitter, like the cast is saying that episode 3 is something really crazy considering
Oh,
how this
so
episode
good.
is. I can't even imagine what episode 3 is gonna be. But we're just going to get into it right now. So we start off, and Santa tells us that it's been 24 hours since the last challenge. They will all soon be learning that they will be divided into teams. We see that Josh says that they're all just trying to be one of the 4 that makes it into the Reindeer Games at this point. As a Latino, he has a big Cuban family, and there's a lot of presents to buy, so he needs that 10K. And we see Britney then whispers to Danielle, who these two, like I said, very much
100K,
a
not
duo at
10K.
this point. Hmm?
Well, you said 10K. It's 100K.
Oh, 100K. So Brittany whispers to Danielle, and at this point, these two very much a duo, very
Oh
much
yeah.
here for it.
Oh yeah.
But basically, she talks about how she wants to get Frankie and Cody to turn on each other since they're so strong. Brittany says the good news is that they're very physical competitors, and Danielle says that they're very tall, which neither of them are. I thought that was kind of funny.
That was
Um,
funny.
so Brittany says to get out of this powerhouse duo that is Frankie and Cody, they will really need everyone to work together. And Danielle says that today's a new day, so she has an alliance with Josh, Taylor, and X and Brittany. But as of this point, no matter what the challenges are, they have to target Cody and Frankie. They are 2 turtle doves, and everyone can see it. I do want to make a note, though, even though she says everyone can see it, supposedly Taylor did not realize that Frankie and Cody were a duo. I saw like a video of her talking about how the reason she threw Cody under the bus to Frankie is I guess Frankie had made like some kind of deal with her. They were working really close
Ooh.
together. We didn't see it in the episode, but like they were working really closely together. So like Taylor thought she could trust him and didn't at all pick up on the fact that Cody and Frankie were a duo.
That's
So just
cool.
interesting to think about. I kind of wonder how that whole thing played out. But
Yeah, I would love to see
basically,
that.
yeah. So Frankie talks to Xavier, hoping to clear the air and making sure that they're good, which he says that they are. And I will say, Frankie is doing a very good job socially. I think he's
Oh,
doing
he is.
exactly what he needs to do.
Oh, yeah. He's honestly, like, really killing it. Like, it's him and Josh that are, like, for the guys who are doing amazing.
Yeah. So especially, I mean, Josh, especially in this episode, is really great. But
Oh, yeah.
he tells him his performance in that competition yesterday was so inspirational, made him realize he wants to play this game with him and he wants to be in the reindeer games with him. And Xavier says he wants that as well. He doesn't like to play the game emotionally, and the decision he made was purely logical. And he thinks the expectations would be is that they will go after each other. And it doesn't make sense because if he takes him out, his target gets bigger and they're shields for each other. And again, I think this is great what Frankie's doing here, really making it seem like he has X on his side, regardless if he does, he certainly is making it seem that way. So
Oh, yeah.
Xavier says, although Frankie won the brawl and sent him to stay in a showdown, he doesn't really think it behooves them to go back and forth. Whether or not this deal is going to be honored, he will see. So, that's basically what's going on there. So Cody asks Nicole if she's okay, which she says yes. And here's the thing with Nicole in this episode. I still like her in this episode. I'm enjoying her in this season overall, but I feel like something happened because her, so being so fixated on taking Cody and just wanting that revenge, it's not really shown in this episode. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that was something where she kind of recognized I don't need to be so gun-ho about it and maybe need to take a step back,
Yeah, she was
or if she generally did start to trust Cody. I'm really not sure, but
maybe
that
she
whole revenge
I feel
thing
like
is
she was
nowhere to be found in this episode.
yeah, I mean, I feel like she's still, like, going for him, like, based on later, like, with her confessional when he at the end. But,
Yeah.
I can see her, like maybe she doesn't, like, fully trust him, but she's just trying to, like, make it seem that way, and maybe she's just trying to, like, stay on, like, good terms and just trying to, like just keep it simple, like, keep it, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cordial.
Yeah, keep it cordial, keep it civil, things
Well,
like that.
Well, it's not so much her interactions with Cody that I'm confused about. It's her confessionals in this episode that I'm confused about. Because
Yeah,
when everyone's focused on taking Cody, I'm expecting her to say, I want Cody out. This is music to my ears. We don't
I
get anything
know.
like that in this episode. It was just very confusing to me. So,
Yeah. They
but
could have maybe they just, like, had a really good conversation, I don't know.
I don't know. But basically Cody asks Nicole if she's okay. She says yes. He asks about it being fast paced, which she says it feels like they can't really relax, which I mean, people have said this and I agree. I mean, this is basically a mini at this point. That's what this
Yeah,
whole game is pretty much.
it's a 2-week
So
mini.
yeah, he tells her he feels the same. I mean, that's basically like LRGs. Most of them are 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
he tells her he feels the same way, that they're all coming for him and she can at least relax. They won't come for her right away. And so he will have to compete probably unless Frankie wins. So Cody says the last challenge was really eye-opening for him. Taylor was hammering his mailbox. Brittany gave him the disadvantage, and it seems like he's getting a ton of coal in his stocking. But the good thing for him is that it's a game about winning challenges, and he does have his number one ally, Frankie, in this, and he does extremely well in challenges. So if the two of them can win as many as possible, he knows that they will be safe, and we perfectly transition into the naughty or nice competition, which is a doozy for sure.
Oh my gosh, this one's, like, crazy to watch.
Yes.
So, Jordan comes in to tell them about the next crisis going on, which I will say she's still not great as a host, but she's a little bit better in this one.
She seemed more into it this time
Yeah.
around, I will say.
Like,
She
maybe
definitely
she
seemed like she
Yeah, like, maybe she's just not, like, used to hosting, so it's just very different for her.
yeah, she definitely seemed more excited in this one, but there were still moments where ever so often she's like, "The green team is in the lead." She still has that, monotone type voice and just not really something we're enjoying. I saw people jokingly saying that the reason these episodes are so long is because of Jordan reading the scrolls, and I wouldn't be surprised because it's ridiculous how slow she's reading them.
It's so funny.
But yeah, I
So
will say she was a little bit better here, but still
yeah.
not in any way a good host.
Oh, for sure. So the carolers at the lodge have grown very cranky this holiday season. They used to have a wonderful set list of 20 holiday classics, but in their crankiness, they have torn up the sheet music of 19 songs and will now only sing one. Their job is to compare their original song list with the torn up sheet music. Scattered throughout the lodge to figure out the one song on the list that they're still happy to sing. The first player to ring the silver bell will not only be rewarded with a holiday performance, but also earn the naughty or nice power. The power not only gives the winner the advantage in the brawl, but also a disadvantage to another player, and this one is a game changer.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the classic, like, run around the house, get as much information as you can, and then buzz in when you think you have the answer. But it's a little bit different, obviously, this time around because it's still a little bit more strategy based. You're trying
Mhm.
to, figure out what the song title is and things like that. So I like this comp a lot. I thought it was very exciting to watch.
Oh, it really was, like, it's another fair one too, like, it's a music
Yeah,
one, it's just, like, really fun to watch and just,
yeah.
like,
Again,
really
equitable. That's
wholesome.
what I keep saying it. Equitable comps are
Yes, yeah,
just so much better.
exactly. Frankie says he won the last brawl and is a big target, so he needs this advantage. Cody is gunning hard for it to make sure he doesn't give this a disadvantage again. But Danielle needs to make sure Cody and Frankie doesn't get this advantage at all. And
Yeah,
then
which
they're
I don't know if Cody should have been so adamant about getting it. We'll get into that, but we'll
Mhm,
that might not have been the best decision.
exactly. There is a moment where Nicole talks about all the songs and struggles to remember the title of "Oh Come All You Faithful." That was
It was
funny.
funny. Yeah,
She's like, "How do we say this?"
yeah.
And then,
I think
and
she
then
said like, "Oh come all faithful," or she was saying like, "Oh come all that are faithful." Like she was like really struggling.
it was so good.
I don't
And then,
blame her. That's not really a song you think of when you think of Christmas. So I understand why
yeah,
she was struggling, but I thought that was a very funny moment.
yeah, this is definitely not like the go-to Christmas song to think of.
There was no grandma got run over by a reindeer this time, unfortunately.
I feel like if anyone thinks of Christmas songs, they'll think of like
Jingle
Jingle Bells.
bells.
Yeah, Jingle Bells is like the main one.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Yeah, All I Want for Christmas Is You is another one for sure.
Yeah.
So Josh doesn't recognize Go Tell It on the Mountain, which was honestly really funny.
Mhm.
And then Brittany also says she's never heard of I Saw Three Ships, which was also really funny. A lot of them throw this challenge and intentionally give the wrong answers.
Yeah, because they pretty much think that this is going to be the same thing that Britney just got, where they have to do a disadvantage, and it's not really anything that great. But again, I think this is a testament to them just kind of recognizing, like them kind of forgetting that this format is going to be something different every single round.
Yeah,
So like, I understand the intention of them throwing, but if I was in their shoes, I would have been like, well, Santa literally said this changes every round. So, like,
it
this
does.
might not exactly be the same thing. So I think it was good for them to throw it if it was going to be something similar, but I think they should have thought like maybe this could be something different.
Oh, definitely. Like, I didn't think they needed to do that, but I mean, it is
No,
what it is.
no.
So
I mean,
after
most of the time you don't need to. I don't think it's a great idea to throw comps, but there are some times when it's good to do it. This is one of those times where it was fun to watch, but I don't
yeah,
necessarily think they needed to do that.
so after an intense and crazy comp, Cody ends up winning, correctly guessing "Deck the Halls" as the song the cranky carolers want to sing, which I made like a joke saying so they look like Scott Hoying from Pentatonics, Miles Teller, Kira Sedgwick, and Helen Mirren.
Yeah, sure. That's definitely sure. We'll go with
Like,
that.
especially the one guy, he looks just like Scott Hoying.
He did. He did. I will say that, but I don't think they quite have the budget to get them.
True.
You know, I think the most famous person they've had in like seasons, like on the regular show, was like fucking Bobby Moynihan.
True. So we then see a group of not at all
Oh, Josh
cranky.
Duhamel last season. What am I saying? They had Josh Duhamel last season.
Yeah, they had Josh Duhamel. So we then see a group of not at all cranky carolers, which Brittany agrees on, sing the song to them.
Yeah, this was so ridiculous. They kept saying like, "Oh, cranky carolers," but like these people had like smiles on their
Yeah,
face. They seem so joyful. They did not seem cranky at
they're like,
all.
"Woo." They're like, "Woo, let's get into the spirit."
Yeah,
So Nicole asks if people actually carol, and she would never go caroling because the terrible voices we all know. That was funny.
again, self awareness era. We love it.
Oh yeah. Cody now has an advantage in today's brawl. Taylor feels she is immediately screwed as she has said his name out loud like a dumbass multiple times and has to give herself her own Christmas miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jordan tells
And
them
boy,
that,
does she ever. That's a big episode for Taylor.
oh yeah, it's so good. And then Jordan tells them the upcoming Jingle Bell Brawl will be a 4-on-4 team challenge win, and their entire team will be safe, plus they will play in an important role in deciding who is at risk of going home tonight.
Give me a second, I'll say something about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was like a huge difference from what we got in the first episode. First episode, it's literally just Britney got to give Cody like one extra letter for him to start with. And this time around, Cody has this crazy advantage where he basically gets to handpick his team. And I saw some people saying like, oh, why did Cody get like the advantage? I don't think they did this thinking Cody was going to do it. I think again they just change it up every single round, and so like I'm fine with this. I think this is fine. It's early.
I don't think it's like rigged or anything. I think it's just like they just change it up.
It's also early enough in the game to where handpicking the teams isn't completely unfair. Like I'm fine with that. If it was later on in the game, that'd be a different story, but like it's literally round 2. Like it's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
So I like this a lot though. I thought it created some very, very fun drama.
Oh, I thought it was very fun, chaotic. It was spicy. Yeah. It was just so fun.
Oh yeah.
So she then reveals that Cody's advantage is that he will get to choose which 3 players he will be teaming with, which leaves the remaining 4 players as the other team. So he also will get to also put 1 player on the opposing team on the naughty list, giving them and their team a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Cody says this whole game is about winning challenges, so being able to split them into 2 teams is definitely a game-changing power.
It's not really about winning challenges, but sure, like that's a part of it. But like that, there's definitely like a very strong social component that he's kind of not thinking about.
Yeah, literally, go off, sir. So Frankie says when he hears about this team advantage, he's very excited because Cody and himself have been 2 turtle doves in this entire game. He knows no matter what, Cody is going to have his best interest in mind with this advantage. Oh, and then Danielle.
And she froze. What the hell?
Wait, what?
Oh no, I froze.
Oh no.
Okay, it's good.
Is it good now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, what did you hear last?
I just reading Frankie's note.
Yeah, I'll just read that again. Frankie says
no, you don't have to. I heard the whole thing.
Oh, okay. And then Danielle says everyone knows if they are on Cody's team, they will likely win, and he can basically decide at this moment who's going to be safe. She knows she's over half a century old, but she wants to go on a sleigh ride.
Yeah, so now we get to the naughty list here where Cody, I think, does not play this in the way that he really should have. I think the best way to play this is, Cody knows he's not in a great position. I think this was his way to, like, try to make some strong connections with people, try to really, like, forge some bonds, show that he's valuable to people's games. Instead, he probably does the most predictable thing he could have, and it really, we'll talk about that, but I think he didn't make the best decision here, I don't think. But so Cody talks to Frankie and saying that he thinks everyone knows how close they both are. There's no reason he shouldn't put him on a team with him together. He's not trying to hide it. And is Allie frozen right now? Hold on. Yes, she is frozen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. Okay, you're back. So basically, basically Cody talks to Frankie saying that he thinks everyone knows how close they are. There's no reason he shouldn't put him on a team with him together. He's not trying to hide it. And if they lose, then it sucks. And there's a chance they could be competing against each other, but they won't lose and just go win. Remember, the one thing they didn't want to do is compete against each other. And we'll come back to that. But you'll see. So Cody says advantage is way too powerful to mess around with. If they win this Jingle Bell Brawl, they're safe. So he's not taking any chances. He's going big or he's going home. So he's going to get the holliest, the jolliest, the biggest competitors in there to create a super team. So he talks to Xavier and says he'll be throwing a lot to him, but he needs someone that he can trust and say everything to. And Cody says if Frankie wasn't in this house, X would actually be his number one. He trusts him, which is really ironic considering X is Taylor's number one and Taylor's the person targeting Cody.
Yeah, literally. It's kind of hilarious.
basically-
I feel like if like this Taylor and Cody rivalry stuck, I feel like they'd both be like fighting for like Xavier.
Yeah.
They'd be like, he's mine. No, he's mine.
Yeah.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah, that would have been funny. So, especially if Xavier won the naughty or nice thing. So he says he trusts him a lot. He's very calm and level-headed. They really work well together because they have a strong bond. So he really does want to put Xavier on his team. And he says to him that he wants to put him and Frankie on a team because they're both so strong and now just needs to get a fourth. Are we shocked he wants to put the physical men on his team? Wow,
No,
I'm so shocked Cody wants to do that.
All.
Xavier says it may make sense to get someone a little bit more cerebral. And Cody probably is the best line of the entire episode, aside from one other, where he says he doesn't know what that means. I thought that was great.
That was hilarious.
And Xavier talks about how it's a mental comp or something like that. It would be helpful. Xavier says he doesn't think it benefits them to do an all-guys team. Cody agrees, says he wasn't going to do Josh, which kind of sucks because he doesn't want him to think he's putting him at risk. Basically saying that he would like to do an all-guys team, but he's not going to because he doesn't want one of them to go. So,
yeah. But literally, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he did put all the guys on his team.
Well, I think he would have if he knew that, like, you know, if he thought that, like for sure be safe and one of them wouldn't be going out. But I mean, just kind of shows where Cody's head's at, that like he wanted to even do that.
Cody is a menacist.
Oh, like the definition of one. So Xavier mentions that they should potentially look at Nicole as the fourth, and Cody says he has a personal connection with her, and she's very good at comps. And Xavier also suggests Britney and Taylor, which this is what I think Cody really should have done. Try to get one of them on his team, try to move forward. I think Britney's the person he should have chosen to like try to move forward with, or maybe even Taylor, like try to mend fences with, knowing she's good with Xavier. Like, I think that's really what he should have done here, but we'll talk about what he actually does. So he talks about it from a competitive standpoint and mentions how well Taylor performed in the balance comp. Cody says she was someone he wasn't even thinking of, and yesterday she was hammering him with notes, and Xavier mentioned that she could be the fourth. Cody says that this is ultimately him showing his hands. So Josh then asks Nicole what she thinks Cody's going to do. She mentions how Britney is probably screwed no matter what. She may be as well. And he mentions how she's good with Cody, and she says she is, but she doesn't think he will put her on his team necessarily. Butting heads. And Nicole says that she has a knot in her stomach and thinks it's so important Cody picks her to be on his team. Working with Cody right now, but needs to make sure that like they are on a team together and things like that, because obviously he's the one in power. And again, I'm just confused. Like, I would have thought Nicole would have been like, I don't want to be on Cody's team. Or if she was on Cody's team, I feel like she would have like tried to throw it to like get him out, because again, like she just seemed.
I feel like she was also just thinking like, oh, I hope I can be safe here. Like, she was probably just trying to. It was probably for the safety reason.
I know, but I just really wanted her to say like she was going to try to throw the comp so Cody would go. Like, I just really wanted to see that from her, and we didn't quite see that here. So Cody talks to Josh, says his favorite team that he would ride or die with would be him, Frankie, Xavier, and himself.
Oh my God.
Literally saying he wants all the guys to just work together and take out the girls. That's literally what he's saying here. Which I mean, but he says if they lose, he will be down competing against one of the guys. He's pretty close with Frankie and he loves X. And if they win, there's no chance he's on the table, and he just want to be straight up transparent with him right away. I feel like this was not a great conversation with Josh. You're basically saying that, like, because here's the thing. I understand he doesn't want to be on his team, but you're basically saying that Frankie and X will always be ahead of him. And like, where does that put Josh at that point? That puts him like as Cody's third, pretty much. Like,
Mhm.
he's not ever going to be considered like one of Cody's closest allies. So it makes sense that Josh feels like this is a big shot at his ego and he's a little pissed. Christmas spirit is dead. It's done. There's nothing jolly or holly about this game. And I don't blame Josh because, like, I don't think this
I
was
don't
very
either.
good for Cody to say at all here. So,
Yeah, it was just I think Cody just isn't very good strategically.
no, I think he is. I think he
I
is.
mean
The
I mean,
problem,
he has moments, it's just he wasn't really thinking this through very well.
I think the problem with Cody is that when he's not in a dominant position where everybody wants to work with him, he kind of just expects he can do the same thing. Like, I think the way he knows how to play, this is just my opinion, because this is what he's done in his other 2 seasons. He knows how to play with comp beasts, and he knows how to play with people that are very physical. He doesn't know how to adapt, and I think we really
He
see that
doesn't.
here.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so Brittany talks to Nicole about how they're probably fucked, and she agrees. Brittany says it doesn't matter who gets the disadvantage because it applies to the whole team, so who cares? Nicole says she's played with Cody and Frankie, and they are just beasts, and anything physical she can't ever compare in. And Brittany says there's no way either of them will win. Brittany talks about how Cody is definitely going to be assembling his team of toy soldiers. She'll be going up to him to play nice and pleading her case. So Cody then talks to Danielle. He says everything kind of gets exposed here because it's not just a disadvantage. He's handling pissing off one person. It's also about how people will feel if they aren't on his team. And she jokingly says she'll be personally offended if she's not on his team. And she says that she's begging him. So he then goes to talk to Brittany, who says that she isn't a laundry. And I thought this was a great conversation with Brittany. This is
Oh, it was.
absolutely what they needed.
Oh,
So he talks to Brittany, who honestly he should be wanting to target here. Like, she put him up, he should put her up.
mhm.
Like, that makes the most sense.
Yeah,
So
I'm surprised he doesn't.
yeah, so she talks about how she isn't a long-term threat to him, not going to target him or go after him. She's a family of 3 kids, and she's not saying he would be taking food away from her children's mouths, but a little. And this is effective to Cody because this is literally what Derek said to Cody on Big Brother 16. So, like, this really, like, kind of gets to him, and I thought that was really funny. So she asks if he wants to dash all her kids' hopes and dreams and chances of college. So Cody says he knows that Brittany gave him the disadvantage in the previous Naughty or Nice challenge, but that doesn't mean he's just going to go tit for tat with her, which he really should be doing. I feel like that gets the least amount of blood in his hands and kind of
Yeah,
makes the most sense.
it definitely
Um,
does.
but he says he doesn't think Brittany will be on his team, but also doesn't know if he wants to give her the disadvantage, as there are bigger fish to fry, which Italians love during the holidays. So Taylor says because of the last few challenges, she knows Cody probably knows she's coming after him, so she's feeling anything but merry or bright. So she goes to talk to Cody and says that she obviously would rather be on his team than not, as they can both beast through, and she can at least tell him that while she did put an envelope in this thing yesterday, it was an overflow situation. And he immediately is just like, yeah, that's not the only thing you did. Like, really insinuating that, like, he knows that she's coming after him. And I feel like he needed to, like, not do this. I feel like he needed to be like, oh, it's fine. Let's move forward. Like, even if he was mad at Taylor, he needed to not show that he was mad at Taylor, but he
Yeah,
does. And
he should have
I
just
feel
been
like,
more, like, low key about that and just kept it kinda quiet on the DL.
yeah, especially because, like, it's not like he's safe here. That's the thing. Like, it'd be different if he was safe and he could kind of do whatever, but he's not safe here. And he needed to play, like he
Mhm.
wasn't.
Yeah.
So he says that the only thing she did, but he sees what she's saying, and it was very eye opening for him, realizing that she maybe was being sneaky, but then maybe he should have kept her close to him by putting her on his team. So that's kind of where his head is at the moment. So Cody says he's thinking of putting Taylor on his team because hopefully, if they lose, they will be at Santa's showdown and he can win against her. Which, I mean, LOL. We'll talk about what happens, but and right now, maybe smart for him to keep his enemies closer, or he can build trust with Nicole, stacking his team with the people he does trust, and then they win if they're all safe. And the people he doesn't trust are down there, and it will be going home. So Taylor says if he puts her on her team, she won't give him a punishment in the next one, and they will be good. So Cody then goes to Frankie and Danielle, the latter of which is literally begging at his feet, which I thought was
I
really
know.
funny.
So
Um,
funny.
Danielle says she's really determined to be on Cody's team just for protection, and she's got to do what she's got to do. So then it's time for Cody to make his decision. He first struggles to pronounce Jingle Bell Brawl. He kept saying like
That
winter
was
ball, winter brawl, and things like that. He was doing
winter
what you were
ball.
doing last night. He kept saying ball instead of brawl. So yeah, he was
Winter
really
ball.
yeah, he was really struggling to say it, but basically he finally gets it right. He then picks his team, and it is the most like unsurprising team he could have put together. So
Mhm.
he picks Nicole, who is utterly shocked here, thinking that, oh, maybe Cody does want to work with me. Maybe I can trust him. I'm like,
It's like,
no,
oh,
Nicole,
okay.
we're doing so good. Like, no, I want you to be after Cody. Like, I don't want to
No.
see you work with
I
Cody
feel like she
again.
I feel like what she's also trying to do is I feel like she's trying to just like stay social just so she doesn't get targeted. Like maybe she's trying to just play the middle.
Well, again, the diary rooms are what was disappointing, I thought. I
I
wanted to see
know her
her like
diary rooms were a little disappointing this time. Besides like the one about caroling. I like that one.
yeah. And then Frankie and Xavier, which is the most predictable team he could have put together. This
Mhm.
means the red team is now going to consist of Britney, Danielle, Josh, and Taylor. Danielle says she's looking around, feeling like she's on the Misfits team. She hopes this doesn't mean she's going into Santa Showdown. And Cody then does probably the worst thing he could have here and decides to put Taylor on the naughty list, which everyone seems to be in shock about.
Mhm.
I don't think he handled this well. I really
He did
don't. I think this is
He did a terrible
absolutely
job.
yeah, I think this is absolutely his biggest mistake because I think him having this could have really been something that benefited him. He could have, again, tried to make a deal with Taylor. I think, honestly, what he should have done is he should have said, like, no hard feelings, put Taylor on his team, give Brittany the disadvantage. It makes the most
Yeah,
sense. She'll
that would have
understand
been
it.
made
She
more
did the
sense.
same to him. Like, I think that would have made the most sense here. Like, get
Mhm.
in with Taylor, make her think that you're good with her, and
Yeah.
then cut her if you need to after that. Like I think that's really how he need to go about this.
Yeah,
But because he
that
put
would be so much better.
but because he literally makes it obvious that he's going for Taylor and knows that Taylor's going after him, it put him in an even worse spot than I think he's already in. Like I think Cody really messes up here and
Mhm.
just does not handle this well at
He
all.
just
I
did
think he
not think
had
he did not think the disadvantage through.
Yeah, I think the problem is when you're someone like Cody who has never really faced any adversity in the house, you kind of just expect for things to go your way, and I think that's what happened with him here. He just expected that this was going to go his way. He's assembled this great team. He knows what he's doing, and yeah, that might not necessarily be the case. But anyway, Allie's going to talk about the Jingle Bell Brawl, not the ball.
All right, getting into the Jingle Bell Brawl. Also,
You said it correctly. Congrats.
you also forgot to add the L into Jingle Bells.
Oh, the
It's funny.
Jingy Bell Brawl.
So Taylor says she's used to being on the naughty list, but this is one she doesn't want to be on, and she doesn't know what this disadvantage will be, but she knows it won't be good for her.
Yep.
Cody says at the end of the day, he doesn't want to go into Santa's showdown, so it doesn't hurt that every person on his team is a comp beast.
Again,
Well,
literally all he cares about is just
I will
having.
say Nicole's not even a comp beast. She can win comps, but she's not like a beast.
She is low key, like very underrated in comps though. Like if
She is,
she
yeah.
usually does get at least relatively close to winning.
Oh yeah, like she is really good at them.
Yep.
She's hasn't like won a shit ton, but she's definitely won like a decent amount.
She has at least one like big win every season that she's played.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and then Frankie, there is. Oh wait, how do you think the natives didn't want to? Oh, Frankie. Sorry, I was wondering where I was for a second.
You're here.
Frankie, there's nothing he isn't good at. Xavier is very calm under pressure, and Nicole flew through challenges in the 2 seasons he played with her, so he feels very confident with the team he picked.
Yes.
Josh feels Cody has assembled the strongest dream team, and honestly, he's a little pissed he isn't in there, so he's fired up. The last thing he wants is to end up in the showdown.
Yeah, like I said, great episode for Josh. Like Josh is in
Oh, yeah.
full on like just let's go for Cody mode. I'm riding this out with everyone else. Like I really love the way Josh is playing this game so far. I
Me
feel like
too.
he is just being like very fluid, really trying to like, set himself up the best way he can. Like, I'm really impressed by the way Josh is playing this game.
Oh, me too. He's just like really killing it.
Yeah.
He's definitely like a dark horse.
Yeah, honestly, like I can see him winning at this point.
I can see it. So Brittany feels they were all handpicked to be on in the loser team. Cody said to himself who he could beat, so he handpicked his losers one by one.
Which again,
That was
that's why it's so bad.
so
He made
funny.
it so obvious, like who he wanted to put where.
Mhm. Xavier talks to his team about how their individual safety is on the line, and Frankie tells them all to just be strong, and Xavier says they will bring it too, so they just got to be ready. Frankie says they have to go in there and bring it. Frankie says they have a pretty stacked team. The Brains and Nicole, the Brains and Braun, with Xavier and Cody and himself, are the perfect Christmas cookies, being sugar spiced and everything nice.
We'll see about that.
Sure. The Misfits team come together, and Josh says he has so much faith in all of them. And Brittany agrees, saying if they are able to win this challenge, it will be an epic upset. They all huddle up, and Josh says he will look like a badass if he wins with all the ladies, and he wants this win so bad.
We love that so much.
So good.
Like I saw on Twitter, someone said Josh really came in and tried to like work with the favorites to like fix his reputation. And it's like, hell yeah, Josh is absolutely doing that here. Like Josh is just showing that like, again, he's willing to be this like very fluid type player. And it's just really great to see.
Oh, he's doing phenomenally, like way better than before.
Well, I also think he's showing that, like, I think a lot of the reason why we didn't like him much on 19 was because of just the vibe of 19. It was a very mean-spirited cast, and I think it just
Mhm.
brought out the worst in him. Here, he's just, like, so much more likable.
Yeah, BB19 is just an awful season overall.
Yeah, there's, like, no one on there that I like.
Mm-hmm. So Brittany says they are all here as the expendable loser, half of the lodge, and all she wants is the sweet taste of victory to say Cody's plan is foiled and he made a bad choice. Woo! Love that. Josh says Santa played him. They were supposed to be friends, and he doesn't know if he can with his team like this right now. He's trying to secure 100K and he's toast.
I love when he was, like, lying down. That was great.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, I heard people say it was like very old school like DRs, and that's what's been great about this is that I think all the DRs are like you can tell they're unscripted. Like they're doing like they feel a lot more like natural.
Oh, definitely. They're like it's so good.
Yeah.
So it's then time for the brawl. Jordan comes out and explains how this challenge will work. Each team has a row of 4 tippy trees to decorate, one for each player on their team. The first member on their team must race over to the closest tree, grab their ornaments, and begin decorating the tree by placing an ornament on the end of each branch. But be careful, the ornaments are different weights, and the branches are different lengths, so one wrong move could cause the ornaments to come crashing down. Once all the ornaments are perfectly balanced on the tree, they will race back to hit their button, and the chosen teammate can get started on the next tree. The first team to successfully all 4 trees will win the brawl and become safe for the round.
Yeah, and I
Actually,
mean this is what is so stupid about Cody putting together this like dream team of like these overly physical people when it's literally just stacking ornaments on a tree. Like that's all this is. It's not physical at all.
no, I actually really like this one though. It's definitely very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean they've done stuff like this before in the show where you've had to like stack stuff and make sure it doesn't fall. But again, I think it was just really funny that like Cody literally thought this was going to be something like really like physical and crazy because again, that's what he's used to. Like he's used to
Yep.
playing comps that are very overly physical and really only fit one type of body type, one type of
Mhm.
caliber of players, but that's not this season. This season is a lot more equitable. This game is a lot more fair across the board. Like he's not going to be able to play that way, and I think he needed to realize that.
Yeah, he really did. Like these comps have just been very fair, and literally
Yeah.
everyone has a chance because literally, like anybody can win these.
With that said, I still did think his team was going to win because Frankie, crushed the last comp. We know Xavier's really
Yeah,
good. Like I really thought it was unfortunately going to be the Misfits, failing
no.
here, but we'll talk about what happens.
All right. Taylor is then informed that because she was made naughty this round, she must decorate the tiny tree at Santa's village before her team can begin on the tippy trees.
Which is barely a disadvantage. Like, it was
Yeah,
such a tiny tree. Like,
I
this
know.
is not difficult. Maybe if it
Danielle
was
says,
bigger, that would have been a disadvantage, but like it's barely one.
oh, yeah, it was like it was, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Danielle says this doesn't look too pretty for her to her, and it doesn't seem like a strong team. She's not Santa's A team of reindeer here, so she needs to keep it honest, and is not feeling too good. They would definitely need a Christmas miracle here. Josh says to his team that he thinks Reach will be huge, and so since Danielle is the shortest, she should work on the first, and Taylor go on second and go from there.
Yeah, this is a brilliant strategy, I thought. Like, yes, like literally the trees are like in terms of height. Like the first
Yeah,
one's a little bit bigger, smaller than the next. And I think it was really smart the way he went about that. I think that's a really good strategy, especially when there's only 4 people on a team.
yeah, it's definitely like a huge, like, and great strategy because of that.
Yeah, because I mean the other team did not seem to have much of one.
I know, because like Nicole's so tiny, and then there's the guys.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, Cody's team picks Nicole to go first, and Frankie is concerned if wingspan will be an issue, and X doesn't seem to think so.
Well, we'll talk about what happens.
The challenge then begins, and though they did have a disadvantage for the Misfits, end up prevailing and they're safe for the round, which is so good.
Oh, yes. This
I
is
love
just
seeing, like, literally Taylor's karma really came through.
yeah, literally. I mean, this was such an amazing moment. This is everything we hope. This is what we want. We always this is like when a veto happens and like we're waiting for that perfect result and we never get it. But this time we actually get it. Like that's what this is basically. And it's so great to see. I love Taylor's little spin that she does. I love Britney just like sitting there in victory. I love Josh like freaking out. Oh, it was such an amazing
So
moment
good.
all around. And again, just really shows how much Cody like fucked up here because if he would
He's
have,
like,
I think,
he's like really,
divided
he's
teams a
literally
little bit
under,
more.
he's literally underestimating the other women and Josh.
Yeah, like if he would have divided the teams a little bit more evenly, I think he might have actually had a shot here. But because he was so cocky and focused on, oh, I need to have the biggest and I need to have the biggest and like the most athletic people possible. Because of him doing that, it just completely just like messed things up, and it made the Misfits want to win that much more. And it was just
Mhm.
so great to actually see it happen. And yeah, I
As they
mean,
should.
really just shows like and I said this on my review for this episode on Serialized. I said Cody's got to be rethinking what he said about Taylor after this episode, and he's already
Literally.
trying to in a podcast recently.
He's trying
Taylor
to,
and
and
Cody.
he's also trying to backtrack.
Yeah, Taylor asked Cody like what he said on the Sharon Tharp review, and he completely just like said, "Oh well, if people don't understand what was actually said. You didn't watch it. This is what I meant." Like, no, what you fucking said was that she didn't do anything except just like get to the end because she was a target. Like that's literally what he said. He said that like she didn't do anything strategically, she didn't do anything socially, she didn't call the shots. And Cody seeing that like that is very much not the case. He absolutely has underestimated Taylor, and it's just great to see. Taylor's karma just really is just so powerful. Like
So
you
good.
never can cross Taylor. You
It's
can't,
so
you'll go.
real. It's like very real and just like amazing. And also
Yeah.
this picture of Taylor is just perfect and wholesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Josh says the Snowballs just played themselves because they thought they built the dream team and instead gave it to him. They got the dub. It feels so good right now. He's on cloud nine, and it's the biggest confidence boost as that Snowball thought he had them beat. It's over. It's a wrap. This is the best feeling in the world.
Oh yeah.
And then Taylor says Cody can't keep a baddie down. He gave her this disadvantage, put her on a team of people that he thought was going to fail, and she still beats him and his so-called A team squad, and tells Cody to eat her snow.
Oh, so good. Again, I'm
Fantastic.
so here for the more like villainous Taylor. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
I love when she said eat her snow. That was so good.
Yeah.
Jordan then tells them that the red team are all safe from today's elimination and have successfully made Santa's village a whole lot merrier. But by winning the brawl, they now have a huge decision to make. They must all agree on one person from the losing team to also make safe.
Yep.
And then the other three will be heading to Santa's showdown where the last place finisher will be eliminated.
I was really shocked that it was 3 people and not 2 people here, but I think it
Yeah,
does add a little bit of stakes here. It makes things a little bit
yeah.
more exciting for it to be just 1 person rather than 2 people, because it's very easy to be like, okay, these 2 people are going to go, these 2 people can go in. I think it's more exciting when, and really kind of makes you like show your cards when it has to only be 1 person. I thought this was a fun like spin on things. What did you think of this little twist?
Oh, I thought it was great. Like, if because like 4 people down there in Santa's showdown would be a lot, especially this
Yeah.
early.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I think it's just pretty spicy. Obviously, I had a feeling they'd either pick X or Nicole.
Yeah, we'll talk
Um,
about what they do, but
because obviously they're trying to split up Frankie and Cody.
yeah.
But I like, really love this twist.
Yeah.
Oh, and Brittany says since they won this challenge, they are now faced with the task of saving only one player from the losing team. She really wishes they could save 2, and she knows someone will be disappointed that she was unable to save them, which is
Yeah,
makes sense.
so now we go to the post brawl, and this was a very exciting segment. We see the red team celebrates their victory. Cody knows that this is not a great position to be in because by choosing the teams the way he did, he pretty much told those 4 they'd be expendable to him, which, like, why did you do that then? Why did you do that in the first place? Like, it was such a
Mhm.
bad idea.
It
Like,
was
again, he was
terrible.
so, you can't ever be that confident. You cannot ever think you're going to win because yes, I know Cody has won a lot, but he hasn't worked with some of these people before. Like, how does he know he's going to win? You know,
Literally.
so he says this is worse than getting Cole in his stocking by Christmas
He's like
morning. He's not
he's just so
expecting.
Cody is just so cocky.
Yeah, I mean, are we shocked? Cody's always been that way. But he
Yep.
says he's not expecting to be the one that's picked for safety. So Josh then talks to Cody, saying that there is so much more game left, so they'll for sure have the conversation and they all will talk. Josh says that winning today gives his team some goodwill, and the 4 of them have a chance to make a power move and take a big shot right now. And I will say, if those 4 stick together, I'm so fucking here for it. I really
It's
want to see that happen. I think
so
they'd be
good.
such a strong 4 like throughout the rest of this.
Yes.
Like, just bring those 4 of the reindeer games. Have them be the team. I
Hell
would
yeah.
love to see that.
Yeah, literally, I want them or Nicole.
Well, yeah. But
I
the
mean, it'd be
red
cool.
team,
I will say it would be cool if it's all the women.
yeah. So the red team sit in, but if it is one of the men, I kind of want to be Josh. That's kind of where I'm
Same.
at.
Yeah.
So the red team sit in one of the rooms, and basically we get some campaign segments here. Frankie comes in to campaign, actually gives them, I think, a pretty decent campaign where he tells them that
It's
he got to
general.
show them yesterday that that he can keep all of them safe. He did, and he will continue to do so and promise that. And I think this was really good. I think he said what he needed to. I think the issue again is that he's aligned with Cody. I think if he wasn't aligned with Cody, they would take this into consideration. But I think because he is aligned with Cody, this immediately, is kind of like, okay, but moving on, like they're not
Yes.
going to really think much about it. But
Yeah,
I will say,
Frankie's pitch was definitely very strategic and good.
I think this shows how dangerous of a player Frankie is, like in the rest of this game. I think
Oh
now,
yeah.
considering what happens, especially at the end of this episode, I feel like he's definitely going to be one to watch out for because he's so good at persuading people to do things and making them think he's with them. And I think we're really seeing him like kind of hone his craft here. So Frankie says his best pitch is that he actually didn't put them in Santa Showdown. He showed through his actions that he's loyal to all of them. So 'tis the season to give and receive. Now it's time for them to receive from him. So Cody comes in, basically says, like, listen, I don't have anything to say. I put you in this position. He feels horrible for putting them in that spot, and they all seem to respect that. So he kind of knows that, like, he's not an option. He's going to end up going into Santa Showdown. So Nicole then gives them a pitch, and I thought this was a really great pitch from her. She says that if they don't save her, she's very scared because she's not a challenge beast at all. The best case scenario is one of the 3 hugest competitors will go home game-wise, and it makes sense to force a big target out. And I mean, this is like the perfect pitch because it's like, okay, we don't want you to go. She knows they don't want her to go. She knows that they're fearful of the Cody and Frankie duo. This is
Yep.
showing them that, like, I have no loyalties to Cody and Frankie. Save
Yes.
me, and
This
I
is
will
the
remember
yeah, like,
that.
this is the Nicole we want.
Yeah, I thought all around this was just a really great pitch. It's showing the four why she's beneficial to them. It's
Yes.
showing that, like, she's going to leave if they don't save her. Like, I think she said all she needed to here. I was very impressed by Nicole's pitch all
Oh,
around.
hers is like yeah,
Um,
hers is definitely the best, but followed by Frankie.
So Xavier then comes in and just continues to be, as Brittany would say, a big bowl of air, pretty much,
Literally.
with what he says. Because he's like, it sucks to lose, but there is potential the red team may keep him safe, considering he's in an alliance with 3 out of the 4 of them and hasn't done anything to ruffle any feathers with Brittany. He doesn't put a lot on his Christmas wish list, but it would be really nice to be safe from going into Santa's Showdown. So he pitches to them first by congratulating them, saying that they just had to believe in themselves and they did it. And he tells them that if they grant him safety, they will have someone that will compete on their side. If they do scratch his back this time, it won't be forgotten. And then they tell him that they appreciate him. And here's the problem with this pitch. If Xavier comes to me and gives me this pitch, I assume we're not working together. That's the thing.
Same.
Like, this is a very general pitch. Like, oh, you keep me safe, I'll keep you safe. Like, this is not the pitch you give to somebody that you want to work with. Nicole's pitch worked because she showed that, like, you know you don't want me to go, and I will go if you put me in, versus, oh, I'll keep you safe if you keep me safe. Like, that's so incredibly nothing at this point. That
Yeah,
doesn't incentivize
yeah,
any of them.
he's a really good person and everything, good competitor, but like socially and is he socially and kind of strategically, he's not great.
Well, he didn't really have to fight on Big Brother 23. That's the thing. Like, he was in such
Yeah.
a good position the whole way through. And I think we're seeing now when he has to, like, put himself in that position, he's really not that great. And I think we're
Well, like
really seeing him
literally
struggle here.
like Hannah and others were like the ones who like were the social queens for him. And then
Yeah.
um but he technically won against a wall.
Well, he
Derek
also
F.
all
They're not
well,
Derek X, Derek F.
Well, he always had someone that was, like, vouching for him too. He had Ozza, he had Derek F, he had even
Yeah.
Christian in the beginning, like, he had Tiffany, Hale, like, he always had somebody that was, like, on his side, like, unequivocally. He doesn't have that this season. Like, yes, he has Taylor, but Taylor will cut him in a second if she needs to. Like, she absolutely has other options that she will go
Oh
to.
yeah.
Um,
Also,
so I just think that, again,
yeah,
Xavier just
previous
really not doing great.
he isn't. Previously on Wall Street, it's Derek F. Because he's
Honestly.
because he's a wall. Woo!
Yeah, I will say I kind of do want to see Xavier win the next naughty or nice thing just because, like, I
Me
want to see
too.
what he's gonna do. Like, I
I
want to
know,
see
I would
what
love
would
that.
happen there.
Yeah, I'm
Um
trying to think, like,
yeah.
I could see him hmm, probably I don't know, it's really hard to
Yeah.
say, he's kind of a wild card in that sense.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But Taylor says that she really wants to keep Xavier safe because he's her ally, but she also really needs to split up the duo that is Frankie and Cody, and it's just not good to risk someone they are strongly aligned with. So Danielle then asks them if they want to save X or Nicole. Taylor says she just keeps thinking about who they would want to be in the reindeer games with. You can really tell that Taylor is trying to vouch for Xavier, but doesn't really seem to be working.
Yeah.
So Frankie says he really hopes he's safe because he made a really good pitch, but they would be idiots to not take the shot at the 3 strongest players just served up on a platter. So we get to the actual results, and with only a couple options in mind, the red team do, in fact, decide to save Nicole, which means that Cody, Frankie, and Xavier are going to compete in Santa's Showdown. And I think this was the best case scenario.
So good.
They
And we also again, we love the women being safe.
And we also love them actually getting the comp beasts out. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like this is going to be this is going to take precedent on Big Brother. I would not be surprised if in BB 26 we see the women come together and say, we got to get like the comp beasts out. Like that needs to happen because we don't want a season like BB25. I feel like that's a big reason why this is happening. And it's just great to see they're actually able to do it. They're actually able to form this group to take out the really strong guys that probably are going to be a problem at the end of the show, probably would have been a really dominant position. And I think it's just really great to see. So, yeah, I think this was a great thing in them saving Nicole. This ensures that they have her back. I think Nicole, I don't think she's in the best spot because everyone else has someone
Yeah.
else they put over her. But I do think she's going to be okay, at least for a little bit. I think right now she's
Yeah.
going to probably, I think, I don't think she's going to go in the next episode, but I could see her going in, like, I could see her getting like 6. I could
Yeah, I could
absolutely
see
see
that
that
because,
happening.
like, I know Frankie obviously wouldn't target her, and I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think the girls wanna go for her yet either because, like,
No.
Britney's got her. So, I think right now she's just kind of in the middle, but not in the best spot.
Yeah, I think she'd be in a better spot if there were more people in the game. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's not the case. But for right now, I think this was good for Nicole. I think it was good that they
Oh,
saved
yeah,
her. So,
definitely.
and I think it was good for the 4 of them as well. But with that said, let's get to Santa Showdown.
Alright. Brittany says the choice to save Nicole is
And he
just
froze
really
again. All right, so Santa Showdown.
Brittany says the choice to save Nicole is just a really easy, obvious choice as those 3 guys are super strong, hardcore competitors, and they would be absolute idiots not to seize this opportunity. Santa has gift wrapped them a beautifully decorated present with a gold glittery bow on top, and this would be like taking Santa's personal gift and then throwing it in the fire and saying no, they would be absolute idiots. So good.
Brittany's best confessional in the episode, I thought. Again,
He's
I
always,
love
he always has the best confessionals. Confessionals. You froze again, I think? Oh no.
go ahead.
All right. But yeah, what was the last thing you heard?
Oh, I was talking about how I just really love Britney's like I just really love her wit and her self-deprecation, and this is just a
Yeah.
really like great example of that. She
Oh,
just
she's
again
just
just continues to kill in the DRs.
he's such a main character energy.
Yeah.
So Xavier is a bit disheartened as he should feel because based on this, by seeing this, how this game is going to go, thinking the people on the team wanted to rock with him, and even they threw him in. And at this point, is he likely will have to navigate this game on his own. Which I
But
mean, I do feel for him, but he's also like not great socially.
I think the problem with him is that, like, yes, he had that alliance, but he doesn't have anything outside of that. That seems to be his only, like, real connection. And I think he didn't try to branch out enough. And I think, like, yes, he had Cody, but, like, who's going to work with Cody? Who's really going to want Cody on their side with how this game went for him? So I think this just wasn't the game for him. Like, I do think if Xavier, I could absolutely see him going out next.
I do too, sadly. Like, I love Xavier, but yeah, he's definitely just like collateral damage in this season.
Yeah.
Nicole
Yeah, he's
says
just
this,
not in a great spot.
no. Nicole says this feels like Christmas morning because the red team just saved her. Cody, Frankie, and Xavier are in Santa's showdown. They're like the 3 favorites to win this whole thing. And now one of them is definitely going home. Only 4 of them get to compete in the reindeer games, and she doesn't want to go against any of these guys. This will be epic, which we love her saying that.
I really just wanted her to say though, like, "Oh my God, Cody's gonna go home. I'm feeling so happy." Like, I wanted to see her say that. It would have been
I know.
again, as I loved seeing how unhinged she was in the last
Yes.
episode, like when he fell, and I just wanted more of that here, and we just
I
didn't
hope
get to
so.
see it.
I hope we get more of unhinged Nicole, but I mean, at least I think here she's just more trying to play the middle. But I mean, it
Yeah,
seems like she doesn't want to go against the guys in the end, which is good.
yeah,
Xavier talks to his alliance, clearly upset by this outcome, and Danielle says she wants him to know they all went back and forth. And Xavier asks who it was that wanted to throw him in, and if it was anyone specifically, and they all shake their head no. He says that's how it is, and Danielle says she needs him to get into the zone.
yeah. I mean, he tries, but like they're just not giving him anything.
I know. Taylor says she's worried he now won't trust her on their alliance anymore, but she'll just have to work on that relationship when he comes back, and she knows he will. Xavier says the people he thought he was going to be working with in this game are the reason he's going into Santa's showdown. So at this point, he has to win if he wants to remain in the lodge.
Yeah, and I do generally feel like Xavier is just going to have to win out at this point. Like, I think that's
Definitely.
going to be his trajectory in this game. I think if he wants to get any farther, he needs to just continue doing what he's doing. Because like I said, I think unfortunately they set a precedent in episode 1 where now people are just going to put Xavier into the lodge to take out the person that they want to take out. And that's not a great position to be in
Hmm.
because he's just kind of expendable to everybody.
He is. He's just literally just like the easy
He's just the
pawn.
pawn. Like, he's the
Yep,
pawn pretty much. Like, this is literally like when you are the pawn in Big Brother. That is where Xavier is right now, and it's not a great spot to be in.
exactly. He's always the pawn, the decoy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's then time for Santa Showdown. Brittany says this is like Clash of the Titans. It's three athletic powerhouse competitors. Typically, she associates Christmas with happy and whimsy and fun, and this is going to be very intense. And if she has it her way in her perfect little snow globe, it's bye bye Cody.
As it should be.
Yes. Cody says he's in there with two of his closest allies, but at the end of the day, Frankie is his number one, and they will both have to come into the lodge.
Yeah, this is literally like the worst case scenario for Cody.
I know. Jordan comes out and tells them how this competition will work. Santa's workshop is full of toys and the Christmas lists from 5 particular picky kids. Each of these lists have things they love and things they hate. To find the perfect gift, they must use the information on their list to find the one toy in Santa's workshop that fits their criteria. At the sound of the Christmas bell, they will begin, but may only carry one present at a time from the toy shelves to the gift boxes. When they think they have the correct toy in all 5 gift boxes, they are to close the lids and hit the button. And if any of these gifts are incorrect, they will get a red light and most figure out where they went wrong. The first 2 players to get all correct toys in their gift boxes and hit their button will be safe, which means the player in last place will be going ho ho home.
And again, I love that we have 3 like very like athletic competitors here, and it's literally just them
Mhm.
putting toys in a box. Like, I
I
just think that's
know.
really funny.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. And actually, this comp is a pretty fun one, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one.
While it proves to be a tough comp for all of them, ultimately Xavier is the first to finish, meaning it comes down to Cody and Frankie having to do the thing they didn't want and compete against each other. And
Yeah, I want to go back to episode 1 where Cody said like, as long as we don't have to compete against each other, we'll be fine. And now look where we are. Literally 2
yep,
episodes in, they already have to.
hmm and the first to get 5 turns out to be Frankie.
Yeah, I mean Frankie again, just comp beast. You put him in the lodge, he's probably gonna do well.
Yeah,
Like I said, I think he really is one to watch out for in reindeer games. I think he absolutely could be like a big upset for many people, and I think he's proving that here.
definitely. Like he's just such a
So
like once it came down to both of them, I'm like, yeah, I know Frankie's definitely gonna win.
yeah.
Like Cody's good at comps too, but Frankie's just a little bit more so.
Yeah, I think Frankie is just showing his versatility. I think the thing we're seeing is that the reason Cody did so well in BB22 was because a lot of those comps again were more catered towards athletic men, and
Hmm.
these comps are not. And so he's not doing as well.
Exactly. Which means Cody is the second person eliminated from reindeer games. Frankie is elated and so happy he is able to continue in the reindeer games, which is all he wanted was to come back here and prove he can win competitions and that he is a threat. And then he sees Cody's face and it just breaks his heart.
Yep.
Cody says this was his doomsday scenario and now he has to go home. Competing against his closest ally and losing is like a snowball just came plowing through and just never stopped, and it's just the worst.
Yep.
Taylor says Cody came for her, and now that snowball came right back around and got him out, and he can enjoy his sleigh ride at Ho Ho Home. So
Oh,
good.
so good. It is literally her knocking the photo of her knocking on the door to like see Cody, Taylor's karma again. So good.
Oh, it's amazing. Josh says the reality is Cody losing. It's good for everyone. He was probably
Yeah.
one of the biggest threats in the game, and he really did see him in that Final Four, and now it really opens up the game, and it's anyone's game moving forward, which is true.
Yeah. I mean, literally Cody was probably like the always going to be one of the biggest threats to win. And the fact that he's out, it's like, wow, it's like a whole new game pretty much.
Hmm. Nicole says Cody losing the challenge makes her feel bummed, and now with him gone, she feels like she's really going to have to step up in this game. Which I
No,
mean,
that's not what I want you to say.
I know I wish she said something more unhinged and like how happy she was, but I mean
Yeah.
I get it. She is just trying to be social, trying to play the middle, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like I want more unhinged Nicole.
Yeah.
Cody then grabs his present, which turns out to be a fruitcake, and Frankie jokingly says he wins him, which honestly that was funny.
That was funny.
And not a fruitcake. Ugh.
Yeah.
In his retrospective, Cody says he's going home, and it's so unfortunate, although it didn't go his way. Coming here and spending time in Santa's Lodge with other BB legends was such an amazing experience. It would be very easy for him to think back and feel like he could have picked a better team, but he'll pick X, Nicole, and Frankie 10 times out of 10. Would never come back and change that decision. He was on the naughty list night one, so maybe now he can spend some time to get on the nice list and change that decision.
Yeah, let's talk about Cody here a little bit. I mean, I will say right off the bat, Cody did not at all play the way I thought he was going to play in reindeer
No.
games, but he also did play the way I thought he was going to play in reindeer games. I think Cody proves he has one way of playing and it's worked out for him, and he doesn't really know how to change that. I think his biggest issue was that he's not coming into this game with everybody loving him and him being in this great spot and everyone wanting to work with him. He's coming into a game where everyone sees him as a threat. And here's the thing, Cody knew this was going to happen. He literally said in episode 1, he's like, I knew I was going to be in this position. He really should have tried to play differently here. I think he needed
Yeah.
to be a bit more low key. I think he needed to not work with the people that he's obviously going to work with. Yes, he has Frankie, but that got dismantled pretty quickly. I think he needed to make other bonds, would say a Taylor, a Danielle, a Nicole. He needed to do that, and he didn't, or not Nicole, but like a Britney, and he didn't do that. And because of that, he really just kind of tanked his entire positioning. I think him winning the naughty or nice power could have been really good for him, but he instead like chose the most obvious people on his team
Yeah.
and made it so clear what he was doing that like everybody obviously wanted him out after that. So yeah, I mean, I think every opportunity Cody had to improve his positioning, he worsened it, and he absolutely did it to himself. And I'm not at all upset to see him go because we've never seen Cody go out this early.
I
So
know,
let's go.
he always makes it to the end.
Yeah.
So, like I don't hate Cody overall, but like I've never been like a huge fan of him either. He's just been very like hit or miss. He
Mhm.
just got super cocky
I
and he
didn't
just
hate him in 16. I will say that. Like, I thought he
oh,
was
yeah,
okay in 16.
I didn't hate him, but he wasn't like a favorite.
Yeah. 22, no.
No, not
Did
22,
not
no.
like him that season.
So yeah, this one he was just way too cocky and he literally was just like he just needed to be more fluid because yeah, he stuck with his normal men or and then Nicole too because
Yeah.
BB16, but like they have that connection. But
Which that was so ridiculous to me. Like, how did he not think maybe she's gonna come after me because I cut her in 22? Like, why did he just assume that
I
like
mean
she was good with him?
in the first episode he had that confessional at first saying that he had to be on the lookout for her.
Yeah. But they
But
also haven't spoken in 3 years.
mhm. But yeah, he's just played like very basic, very simple, and like how he usually plays. He just needed to be more fluid and like if he had a different team, like it could have been a little different for him and a little bit better. And with his power and everything, like he was just kind of disappointing. But like he had some okay moments, but not that great.
His
So
best moment was him imitating Nicole.
that was funny. But yeah, definitely like he was just very iffy. Like I'm pretty happy to see him go.
This was the year of Cody being a flop. He flopped in the traders and he flopped in this, and I'm very much here for it.
Literally like Sari, Taylor, Danielle, Brittany, and Nicole all did that.
Yes. And Josh. Don't forget Josh.
And Josh.
Yeah. And whoever else was on the traders that I don't know because I haven't watched.
I know, we need to do season reviews. So the last thing for this episode was Frankie says this has been such an emotional roller coaster. He went from strategizing with his best friend to sending him home in one day, and from here on out, it's going to be a bumpy sleigh ride.
Yeah, and I will say, I think Frankie can easily recover from this. I think he's
Oh
going to
yeah,
be honestly in an okay spot from this point forward. Frankie, again, he's very good at getting in with the people he wants to work with. He's very good at convincing them to do what he wants them to do. I think he's just a very dangerous player in that way, and I think he can make a very deep run. So I don't think Frankie's in any danger after this. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see Frankie going out next. I don't see that happening. He's had way too good of an edit for me to think that.
I could see them trying to go for him, but maybe X goes instead.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I think X is not in a great spot at all. I could absolutely see him going out next. Yeah, I could definitely see X going out for sure. I think the way they've shown him in these two episodes, it just really makes me think they're going to send X in to try to get somebody else out, and he ends up going. Like, I could absolutely see them like wanting to target Frankie, and then he ends up going because Frankie's just so good at challenges. And not to say Xavier
I mean,
isn't,
I
but
could see them like yes, Frankie's good socially, but I do think they because obviously Cody was targeted and they want to get out big threats. I could see
yeah.
them trying to go for Frankie, but I mean, I could also see like Frankie and Xavier being like in the showdown, and then Frankie wins again. So,
Yeah.
but we shall see.
Do you think Xavier has any sort of like wiggle room to like make some new connections? Because I really don't think he does at this point.
It's really hard to say. Like, it'd be cool. I definitely would love to see him win a challenge just to see what he would do with it. Like when like either the naughty or nice or the brawl. But I don't, it's like because he definitely is such a wild card here now. So like I don't know if he would just stick with that alliance or he would do some. I don't know what he would do. But
I think he kind of needs to stick with that alliance because I don't see like Nicole or Britney like turning around and being like, yeah, I'm going to work with Xavier now. I'm going to choose Xavier over the other people that I have. Like, I just don't see that happening. I think unless he becomes like this unstoppable force that like just keeps winning and things like that, then they might start to gravitate towards him. But I just don't see that happening.
yeah, same. It's gonna be very interesting because I could see Xavier definitely being out next, but never know. We will see because the season's just so good so far.
Yeah, and it sucks because I love Xavier, but like he's just not
Me
he's
too.
not he's not delivering this season. He's
I
really not.
know.
Um,
He's just not that great of a social player.
yeah, I think right now the people in the best positions undisputably are Danielle, Brittany, and Taylor and Josh. I think those four are in just such a good spot. That four in general, that team are just they've insulated themselves really well. I think Brittany and Danielle are such a strong duo at this point. I think Taylor needs to align with Josh and kind of recognize that like yes, she wants to work with Xavier and she wants Xavier to be like her weapon of sorts. She said that in the beginning of the season, but I think Josh is the better duo for her because I think he has more longevity and also like I
Yeah,
think has a better shot of making it to the reindeer game. So,
I
you
think so
know,
too. But I don't know. I could also see Xavier being like becoming close with Frankie now.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, he doesn't really have much wiggle room at this point
He
because it's
doesn't.
either he sticks with the alliance he has or he goes with Frankie or that's kind of it. Because again, Brittany and Nicole are not going to like bend over backwards to work with Xavier. They have other
Yeah, no.
connections. The one thing I do wonder is do you think Nicole has a chance to work with Frankie now?
I mean, I don't know. It's like she might stay on his good side, but I could
Yeah.
see her also like turning on him if she really has to.
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
she knows he's a big threat and a big comp beast.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Nicole is correctly and smartly recognizing that like working with the comp beasts is not the best idea this season. She needs
No.
to kind of stick with the women, and I think and Josh, and I think she's going to do that, especially now that they just saved her. I think that's
Oh, yeah.
probably what she's gonna do, but we'll have to see. Either way, I'm just really excited to see how this next episode goes.
Me too.
Again, the cast is saying episode 3 is like a top tier Big Brother episode, so
Oh, I
I'm really
cannot
excited
wait.
to see how it plays out. It
It's
looks
probably
like
gonna be I assume it's gonna be very spicy.
yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I could see like something shocking happening. I hope it's not one of our favorites going, but I mean, if it
I
is,
know.
then
I
like
mean, I don't know why, but I see it out of, like, the other women that are not Nicole. I feel like if any woman leaves, it might be, like, a Britney.
no,
No, I mean, just because, like, she has already won, like, 2 challenges and, like, she has
just won
kinda
the
made
most
herself
challenges now.
yeah, so, like, I could see her because she's made that. Like, she did obviously give the disadvantage to Cody and different things like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I am not sure which of the one. I don't think those 3 are going. I just don't see it happening. I think if
I
any
don't
woman
either.
goes, it would be Nicole.
Maybe.
But we'll see. That's kind of like where I'm at this point. I just don't see Brittany, Danielle, or Taylor going. They've had such a huge focus on the edit, but at the same time, like how many
Well,
times have we
I
seen
will say
them?
I don't see Taylor leaving anytime soon.
No, I don't either. And then Danielle, I don't want to think of Danielle going. Like, no,
I
I don't want to think
know.
about that. But again, I don't want to see anyone going at this point. I like everyone left on this cast, so
Oh, me
we'll
too,
have to
like,
see.
they're
Um,
s they're so good, so, I mean, I think the most easy move to leave or, like, easy person to leave next would probably be X.
Yeah, I think that's probably I could easily see that happening too, but we'll have to see. Either way, it's gonna be really fun. I'm really loving this so far. We only have 4 episodes left, which is kind of
I know.
crazy. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it's such a short season, but I'm here for it.
and it's good that it's short because it really is just the pacing is so good. The fact that these episodes are 90 minutes long, they're still able to give us a good idea of what's happening. I don't feel like I'm missing out on things by any means.
Same.
I feel like they did a really good job. Again, the only question mark I have is how did Nicole go from being so cutthroat towards Cody to then feeling sympathetic towards Cody? Like that's the one thing that I'm just kind of like confused about because I don't think they did a great job of showcasing that.
I feel like
But
they yeah, I feel like maybe they just had, like, a talk and then maybe she was just like, "Okay, maybe I should just, well, not work with him closely, but at least trust him."
I don't know, maybe Cody's just like her kryptonite. I have no idea. But yeah, with that
Or
said,
maybe
that's
it's
really
because
it.
or maybe she just knows he has her back.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, but I want to go but yeah, like I said, really loving this so far, really excited to see where it goes. We have another episode tonight, so it should be a
Woo,
really
I'm excited.
exciting one for sure. But with that said, we want to go ahead and plug some things.
Yeah, obviously stay tuned to our ongoing coverage of Survivor. We're gonna be doing the last 2
Almost done.
episodes. Yeah, so we'll probably do the last 2, like, sometime this weekend,
Yeah.
and then obviously and then the finale is next week, right? Yeah.
And we will be doing a live stream. We are not waiting 2
Yes.
weeks to talk about the finale like we
No.
usually do.
Yeah, so we'll probably do a live stream well, either a live stream
Or
or
in the
just
case of 43, February. We're not doing that either.
well, we'll either do a live stream or we'll just watch it or we'll just watch it live and then do a podcast after. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been a great season. It sucks to see it end, but been fantastic all around.
Yeah,
But
and then obviously next we have tonight's and next week's Reindeer games, and other than that, it's just all of our season reviews. We'll probably start doing those around like January or so
yeah.
to catch up on all those, do a season review, and excited for that. And yeah, because right now it's just Survivor and Reindeer games.
Yeah, honestly, that's all we're really talking about. But yeah, very excited to see how, like I said, the rest of this plays out. It's been so fun so far. I'm
So
really
good, so
loving
much
what
fun.
we're getting. I never expected to like reindeer
Never
games as much
excited.
as I did, but it really is just delivering like this. I mean, you really just gotta praise this. So yeah, other than that, that's pretty really loving, like I said, how this is going. Don't love the fucking technical glitches we had throughout this entire thing. Don't love that at all. But
Yeah, I don't know what streamer it's doing tonight.
I don't know. I have no idea. I think they won the naughty or nice comp and wanted to give us a disadvantage and try to infiltrate this podcast. That's what's going on here.
Honestly,
This is the big
they are
disadvantage. They want to.
StreamYard is on the naughty list.
Well, I think in that case we'd probably be on the naughty list because we had the disadvantage. So
I
like,
mean,
you know,
yeah, but also they're on the
um,
naughty list for being naughty.
yeah. Oh, how the turntables. StreamYard is now gonna end up in Santa Showdown. But anyway, that's it for this video. As always, comment down below, let us know what you guys thought of this episode of Reindeer Games. How are you feeling about the show so far? As always, let us know how you feel. And as always, couples who podcast together, stay together. We will see you guys later.
Have a great night.